Hey, what's up, guys? Benji Lewis here with the Hardscape CEO. Another video here on pricing. This is kind of a little bit of an overview, a little bit on the whole idea of pricing, and the reason for it is my idea is that pricing is the silver bullet to profitability, to having employees that stay for a long time, to having a happy spouse, to all the good stuff, right? And so a lot of times it comes down to profitability. So not a lot of times it comes down to profitability. It always comes down to profitability. But a lot of times it comes down to pricing. We can be the best installers. We can have incredible relationships with our suppliers, right? And get good pricing and get good delivery and everything goes perfect. You can actually install a project perfectly from start to finish, to scheduling, to install, to demo, from demo to all the way to the very end, to a quick little punch list, and actually make no money on that job. So I don't think that that is something that is a crazy idea to most of us out here, because we've had those, right? We've had those jobs where you're like, how in the world? Well, pricing was wrong, right? And I think what a lot of guys are finding out now, I think, is that their prices in the past, especially some of the contractors that are now figuring out, like, oh man, here's where my price should be. I'm going to start charging that. Oh my gosh, I'm making a nice living now, and I'm able to buy some better equipment and hire a couple guys on, and man, this is getting better. Typically what they're finding out is like, oh my gosh, I needed to double my prices. So I'm not saying that you need to double your prices, right? Every business is different. So we'll never know without diving into your numbers, but you need to dive into your numbers and try to understand, hey, where do I need to be? You can't let the quote unquote market decide where you need to be on pricing. You just need to do it based on your business, your overhead, your numbers, and what you want to make, right? Some guys might be like, I want to work for myself and I want to make 80 grand. Well, that guy might have different numbers and he might only need a certain pricing that you need. Now, I would probably try to disagree with that guy and try to convince him that you actually can charge more, even if you don't want to make more. That way you can just give a better service, right, to everybody. If you're charging the correct price, then it will allow you more profit. You can give bigger bonuses, take care of your employees even more. Even if you just still want to make 80 and you want your foreman to make 110, I don't know. It sounds kind of weird to me, but it could be done. But I just think it's the easiest way to profitability, right? So I think there are a lot of ways that we can try to get there with efficiencies and things, but you can't overcome, we can't out efficient pricing. Bad pricing on jobs, there's nothing else you can do. One thing to keep in mind is that typically I think a lot of this stems from most guys want to price things, or they want to send over proposals that fit their checkbook, and I think that's where it stems, right? I mean, I think it is a human thing to go, oh my gosh, why in the world would a person pay $50,000 for this patio? But it's the same reason why you are going to look at a Ferrari and go, yeah, it's cool and it's awesome, but why in the world would somebody pay 200,000, 300,000, $600,000 for a Ferrari? Well, just because you won't doesn't mean that somebody else won't either, right? I mean, somebody else is out there going, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, right, I've said this before, I'm kind of a car guy, so I'm always looking on bringatrailer.com, right, where you can buy anything from mid 80s BMW to a 2018 Lamborghini. Right? And there are guys on there that are fighting in the last minutes of an auction over 300,000, 305, 308, 311. I mean, they just keep going on these prices on these Ferraris. I would look at that and go, what in the world? That guy is an idiot. Doesn't he know that that Ferrari's only got 483 horsepower? The brand new Corvette's got 550, or whatever the numbers are, right? But of course, there's always a better deal out there. But sometimes that's not everybody's thing, is how can I get the best deal or how can I get the cheapest thing? There are a lot of people out there, and a lot of our customers that are putting in patios that are spending 30,000 to 200,000 that aren't like us, right? They maybe aren't regular common people, right? They are attorneys and doctors and business owners and finance guys, and maybe they're making 600,000, maybe they're making 1.1, maybe they make 450 and their wife makes 300, or maybe the wife makes 800 and he makes 200, and they're going, I don't care if it's 63 or if it's 69. I don't care. I just want this patio and this is what I want in it. So you got to try to get out of your own way when it comes to some of the pricing. You just got to go, this is what it costs for me to put it in. This is what it costs for me to pay a salesman to go do it. It would have a foreman that leads up that crew, to have a runner that runs them out things, to have a social media person that, all these things that go into running a business. You have to price all of that in and then throw on what materials are and what labor is. And all those things come in and go, hey, here's my costs after everything to do this. Now that might be $32,000 for you to put in this patio. That means if you put it in and if you price it at 33, you're going to make $1,000. But if you price it at 40 might be excessive, but you price it at 39,000 and you have 32,000, well, you're at $7,000 in cost. Great. That's what it should be. Because also too, not always do these projects go perfect, right? Because we need to have a little bit of fluff in there. And so we need to do that with our pricing. There needs to be, I would like it if everybody had a little bit of contingency in their proposal that says, hey, if I hit rock, if we get horrible weather, if all these different things, that the price could go up incrementally. Now it's not going to go up a ton, but something to be able to recoup something. Like if we hit rock, or if we hit tree roots, we hit something weird happens that we didn't know, right? They said they got rid of all their sprinklers and the sprinkler guy took everything off. We go and excavate it out and boom, water line. The whole place is a freaking flood. That's not our fault, right? They said it was all gone, it was finished, blah, blah, blah. Well, you need to have something in there to go, hey, I need to charge you an extra $900 to clean this up. I got to pump out all the water. I got to take my guys off this site for a day until this thing dries out. I need to recoup something. Now, somebody might go, screw you. I'm not paying your stupid contingency. I don't care. That's going to happen. So we need to put in there a little bit of fluff for when things go bad. So let's say your cost is $32,000 on a job and you sell it for, I'd like to see you make $4,000 on that. So that'd be, let's call it 36 and some change. Price it at 38, knowing that there's $1,500 in there of fluff. At the end, if there's no fluff needed and your last 17 jobs have gone perfect, well, take this $1,500 of fluff and give your guys a bonus. Take them out for an awesome lunch. End on Friday and take everybody out for beers. Let's be incredible employees. We're still serving our clients. Our clients, again, I will say, they're not looking for the cheapest patio and outdoor kitchen and pergola and deck and covered pavilion. I mean, they're not looking for the cheapest option for it. They're looking for quality. They're looking for somebody that's reputable. They're looking for somebody that answers the phone and gets back to their emails, and they just want it done right. I mean, none of these people, right? These, depending on the area of the United States that you're in, they're not living in small houses, right? Typically they're in really nice houses. My guess is they didn't go with the cheapest home builder, right? They didn't search out and go, hey, how cheap can you do a 5,000 square foot house? Oh, well, I need to find something cheaper. And then they find one and they go with that guy. It's not what happens, right? They find somebody that they love their style. They love how they do things. They like how design oriented they are. They're looking for other things. It's the same thing with us, right? They're not looking for, how can I get the worst guy that barely knows what he's doing, but he's cheap. So don't sell to that. Instead, charge a real price so that you can make money and take care of your family and take care of your employees, take care of the company. Make sure that it's recession proof, right? Not that any business would be completely recession proof, but make sure that it can handle a little bit of storm, right? Because those days are coming. As I record this video now, that could be soon. But we might look back 2 years from this video and go, man, we thought with all the inflation, it was just going to get horrible and it wasn't. We got through it pretty unscathed and we came on the other side and it's great again. So we don't know, but at some point, those bad days are coming. We might be in those bad days now. So you need to be prepared and have money put aside for that. So with the pricing, one thing to keep in mind is that when you have prices that are higher or lower off of maybe if we're gonna take a median line of like if you're gonna install 400 square feet, a fireplace and a pergola, and for you that price is $40,000. If that's your price, and somebody comes back to you and says, "Hey, if you take $2,000 off, I sign up," or you go, well, I feel like this is going to be hard excavation, or I feel like the access is bad. I think I'm going to charge 42. So either way you veer off of that, those $2,000 are pure profit, right? So if your pricing metric or your pricing system says, boom, you need to charge 40 grand. If you go to 38, you just took $2,000 out of your bank account. Because if you lower to 38, you're not building something less. You're still building a $40,000 patio, outdoor living space. And the same way, if you charge 42, you're not giving them more. You're just charging 42 for that. So that $2,000 is pure profit and can go into your bank account, into your pocket, or many of the other things, right? You can do anything you want with it. You can give the guys a bonus for doing a good job. You can take them out for happy hour. You can take them out for lunch. You can go buy pay down debt. You can go buy a new tool that you always wanted that was $2,000, whatever it is. But I want you to know that those last little dollars that we are manipulating the price so that we can get a proposal over, that price comes out at 40 grand and we just go, man, that seems high. I don't know. I just doesn't seem right. I think I'm gonna send over at 37. And you send over at 37 and they go, hey, that sounds good, but can we add in, I want to go ahead and add back in the lights and the mulch beds. And you're like, okay, well that puts you at 41. And they're like, cool. Right then and there you should know, fuck. I actually could have sold this at 40. Probably could have sold it at 41 because they didn't push back at all. All they did was add more. I could have done this for 44, yet I'm doing it for 41. You know what that is? It's $3,000 of profit that doesn't go into your own pocket. That could mean paying for dance for your daughter. That could mean a season of competitive basketball or soccer for your son or daughter. That could mean taking your wife on a $3,000 vacation for an extended weekend sometime. It's real money. So get your head out of the way and understand that pricing is how you make money. That's how you have high gross profit, GP, and that's how you have high net profit, right? The final dollars that you're putting into your pocket. That's how it works. Um, I want to say that everybody always thinks I don't want to go any higher because I think I'm at the top of the market, right? I mean, how many times I've talked to endless guys that just say that, like, oh man, I could never go to the prices that you're at. You want to go, yeah, you can. Because I promise you, let's just say that there are 75 metro areas around the country. Let's just call it that. Of course, there's more if we go down lower and lower and lower. But I know, like, I think Omaha. I'm in Kansas City, but I think Omaha. I got some friends that live up there. I think they're like the 60th largest metro area, and they've got like I don't know 600,000 people. Right. So let's say we go a little bit smaller than Omaha, Nebraska. So most markets. So if you take 75 markets, there are 75 companies that are at the top of the market. That's it. Right. Everybody else is below that guy. Whoever that guy is in Kansas City, where I'm at, and I don't know where that number is, right? But St. Louis, Orlando, San Diego, you name it, right? Somebody's the top end. There is what? A 99% chance you are not him. You can go higher. You should be charging higher because probably the guy that's charging higher, he's probably doing a little bit better in business than you are, right? So now he's spending more on advertising. He's spending more on getting good guys. So he's putting in better projects. All of a sudden, he's just going to start separating from the guys that are down here charging a little bit and just barely making it, right? Because they have to like, ooh, I got to let George go because man, he wants 24 an hour and I can't afford 24 an hour. Well, that guy, George, might go to that guy in your town in your metro area that he knows that he sees on Instagram or Facebook and says, man, those guys do great work. I'm really good at this. I'm going to call that guy, see if I can get a job. And he calls that guy and he says, hey, looking for a job, would love to start. I've got 8 years experience. I used to work for ABC Hardscapes, and they had to let me go. Just kind of had a little bit of downturn and just couldn't keep some of us on board. Okay, what do you want to start at, George? I'm looking for 26. And he goes, okay, done. Come on in tomorrow. That guy is sitting there going, oh, I'd have paid a guy with this kind of experience 29. I'm getting him for 26, and you let him go for 24 because you couldn't afford him because your prices are too low. He's his or not, and so he's able to pay people more to get them on. So now he just took one of your best guys because you're too afraid to say, hey man, fire pit, wood burning fire pit, $2,500. Oh my gosh, how could you ever charge $2,500? Those kits are like $700, $500, $600, whatever they are. There's no way you can charge that. Yeah, you can. Oh, what do you guys charge for putting in a concrete patio? Oh, we charge $19 a square foot. Oh, you can't charge $19 a square foot. Yeah, you can. You can charge that. Whatever those numbers are in your area, right? I mean, they could be anything, but I just want you to know in my right, because I always want to wrap these videos up by saying, keep in mind, I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm only telling you what I did. So when we started, we were selling paver patios. I know everybody hates square foot pricing, but man, it makes it a whole lot easier to talk about. We're selling paver patios for 16, $17 a square foot. We went to 20 a square foot, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if anybody's gonna pay 20. Right? I hired my first sales guy, and after I don't know 4 months, 6 months, he's going crazy on sales, and I go, hey, we're going to $23 a square foot, and he's like, oh my god, $23 a square foot. We are never gonna sell another freaking project. Right? That was I don't know 5 years ago, and now we're closer to 48 to $52 a square foot for paver patios. And every $3 and $4 increase that we've done every 4 to 6 months over the last 5, 6 years, every time that was going to be the top. There's no possible way we're going to hit the ceiling and we're never going to sell. Yet here we are, selling $5 million a year every year. Back then we were doing 1.5 million, and my sales guy would have thought the sky was falling and we were going to go to zero next year. But we didn't. We went to 2.3, and then we went to 3.4, and then 4.2, and then 5.2, and we'll do 5 again this year. So it's in your head and it's in your salespeople head if you have salespeople, but it's the silver bullet. It's the easiest thing to change to go, oh, there we go. That's what all these other guys are doing that are buying the best equipment, driving around in better trucks than your guys are driving around, the ones that have better shops than you, the ones that you follow personally on their Instagram, and oh my gosh, guy's in the freaking Caribbean again. Well, look, he's going to, over Christmas, he took his kids skiing. How is he doing that? Well, I'll tell you how he's doing it. He's doing it every single day when he sends out proposals that have correct pricing on it, that make sure that he's making whatever that amount is you want to make. I would say it needs to be where you're making at the end of the day. My goal for you would be 10. 8 is a pretty solid business. 12 is where you want to be. 15 is the real goal, right? 8, you're doing great. Yeah, there we go. 8, you're doing great. 10, you can win. 12, I don't know what rhymes with 12. And then 15, man, at 15, 16% net profit. I mean, come on. I mean, what's quick math? Build a $2 million business and do it at 16% and make $320,000 after you put in yourself for $100,000 salary. Walk away with 400 grand every single year. Why are you out there making 60 grand, struggling and barely making payroll and really just worrying and the stress, and you take it on your wife, and you don't have time for your kids because you're too busy working at night? Man, do what the smarter guys are doing. Do what guys have done already and are finding out, which is charge a real price and everybody wins. For one, the whole market, right? High tide raises all ships kind of thing. Man, you start charging, and then this guy starts, hears that you're charging that. He raises his price because he's like, holy moly, I can't believe John's over there selling. He's got a calculator on his website, and he's selling $800 Weston wall columns. Like, how's he getting away with that? Well, he is, because he's selling on the value that he's bringing to them. All of his clients are saying, "Hey, I got this problem. I don't really have a space where I can entertain my friends and family, and that's what I want." And so he's going, "Cool. How much do you have to spend on this?" "Oh, you got 50 grand? Cool. I'm going to make you the best place that we can for 50 grand." And he's focusing on solving that guy's problem of not having a place to entertain friends when they come over. And he's got buddies that want to sit out and watch TV and have beers and smoke cigars watching March Madness or NFL football. And he loves it. That's the problem he wants to solve. And his wife and him, they want to be able to grill out at night with their kids and roast marshmallows when their kids have sleepovers with the neighborhood kids. Focus on all of that. Don't focus on, oh man, there's no way he's going to go for a $9,000 pergola. He doesn't know what your prices are. He doesn't know what regular prices are. There's not a price list out there that's like he's looking at that going, hey, you should only be charging me 7,000. Well, I mean, unless he looks at Home Advisor and they'll be like, pay for patios, $6 a square foot. Love seeing that stuff. But you get the idea. Focus on solving the problem. Don't focus on the pricing that's in your head as what you seem as fair. Instead, what's fair is for you to have a business, employees, a life, your weekends back, your nights back, just running a normal company and making 10% profit. I don't think anybody would look at any business owner and go, guy's charging me 30 grand for this patio. I think he's going to make like 3 grand on this. Like, well, yeah, that probably seems fair. I mean, got to buy the materials. He's got all these guys that have to install this whole thing. Look at the machinery he brought. Man, that stuff's huge. Look at the dumpsters of material he's taken out. Look at everything he's putting back in. Like, wow, that looks like a big deal. And they had a designer that came out and helped me get this whole thing designed. You got to pay for that guy. And there was a lady that helped me pick out materials and then answers the phone when I call every time. I don't get voicemails. So all those things go into it. I don't think anybody says, like, well, those guys are screwing me. Because to be honest, if somebody's pushing back on me on pricing, now I don't sell stuff very often, but when I did, I would just tell them. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this stuff's 50 grand." Like, yeah, yeah, it just is. It's just really expensive to put in. The materials are a lot, equipment's a lot, labor's high, of course. Labor's high everywhere. But to be honest, Bill, what we try to do is when I price this whole thing out, I'm pricing this so that I make 10% profit, right? After I pay for, I got in essence a third for labor, third for materials, and then I've got 20% in overhead, and I'm hoping to make 10, 11, maybe 12% off this. So your $50,000 job, it's going to take me 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the size of crews and how efficient you are. I'm just trying to make a few $1,000s. And they're like, oh, well, kind of makes sense. Like, we got another proposal, and it was for a little bit of money too. It was for, you guys were at 50, they were at 47. We actually got one at 53. Like, yeah, everybody's kind of the same. What it really comes down to, John, is who do you trust? Who do you think's going to put this stuff in? Right? We got to get it off of pricing, right? Get it down to like, go with somebody you trust, go with somebody that has the reputation, the warranty, the history of doing this for a long, long time, and the portfolio that shows, like, look at the projects these guys put in. I mean, they got pictures on their website that looks like that thing must be $100,000 or $300,000. They'll probably be fine with my $42,000 patio. I'm guessing. I don't want to do this twice. I'm going to do it once. I'm going to pick the good company. I know they're 3 or 4 grand over the other guy that seemed like he's pretty good, but he's hard to get a hold of. And when he shows up, he's pretty dirty and kind of smells like smoke. Like, I'm going to go with these guys. I just like these guys. That's how we sell, right? We want to sell on solving the problem and being the easiest company to work with. That's it. We're not the cheapest. We don't really talk about a whole lot about pricing. Like, I'm not one that wants to say, hey, I want you to know that I'm going to be the highest price you got. whoa, hey, that doesn't really want to make me hire that guy, right? Let's just say, hey, we're going to be right in the mix. There's going to be guys below us, there'll be guys above us, but we're going to be right there. So this is a lot longer video than I thought it was going to be, but I think it's all good because I think it's important. I think the whole idea of pricing is overlooked sometimes. Everybody wants to talk about, man, I need the new excavator. Oh, have you seen that humongous mini skid steer that's out? I got to try that. They want to go and spend money and try to get it more efficient on that end. But man, the amount of efficiencies after a little bit it really starts to get pretty small, right? When you're talking efficiencies, there's some little numbers. There's a big, huge, glaring one that can save your company 60 days from now if you'll implement it. And it's putting in the correct pricing. So if you have any questions, comments, ideas, of course, reach out and we will see you on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day.